Welcome back to the Realty and Realty. And it's St. Patrick's Day.
Yay.
So we're in our green.
It won't be St. Patrick's Day when they watch this, though.
We're filming on St. Patrick's Day. You're not watching this on St. Patrick's Day. Just to clear that up. So, Reddit stories today, because we love our Reddit stories. My first one, are we ready to just dive in?
Yes.
Did we have anything that we wanted to chat about? No.
No.
Okay. That's fine. With me. All right. First story is off of Am I the Asshole? Well, AITAH. I don't know if it's specific. I don't want anybody to come for me.
It's all
Okay.
the
It is Am I the Asshole for. Oh no, this isn't the one I want to read first. Okay. Just kidding. This is the first one. It's off of AITAH. Am I the asshole for being upset with my boyfriend doesn't want me to be his realtor? My feelings are so mixed, and I'm trying to get a ping on how to articulate why this bothers me so much. On one hand, I can understand his reasoning. If the house he buys has unforeseen issues, if he's a nightmare buyer, doing business with friends' lovers can go bad, etc. These are his concerns. But on the other hand, that's literally my job, to ensure I have his, a client, best interest in mind. I follow the code of ethics to a T, and you don't typically sell homes to random strangers. You work with people you know and people who know you, people you know. So I'm offended. It feels disloyal and that he would use another realtor besides me. Am I the asshole here? What am I supposed to do with this?
Dump him.
Honestly, if he doesn't trust you enough to sell him or find him a house,
That's how I take it. I don't buy his reasons. What if I'm a nightmare buyer? What, like, doing business with friends and family and significant others can't. Well, honestly, I don't think significant others, and I guess maybe it depends on your relationship. But like, I would think if he's a nightmare buyer, you guys are in a relationship. Like, you are in an intimate relationship. This is likely, the person who you know best, and like vice versa.
and then he's supposed to trust you.
You should be able to feel comfortable to be like, hey, like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, have these conversations and be like, okay, you're being a little unrealistic. Let's take it down a notch and regroup.
Right. If you can't have that conversation with your spouse, then
I think he's the asshole. I feel like, I mean, there's limited context, but I just feel like those reasons are like bullshit, and I think it just does come down to it. Well, I would assume. Again, I don't know these people. This is how I feel about it, though. It's just that he's not.
He's using excuses.
Yeah, he isn't. What's like? I'm having like a stupid moment. What's the fucking word I want? Confident. He's not confident in her abilities to get the job done.
Yeah, no, I agree. No. I think that you're right. Everybody also thinks you're right. Not the asshole. Mixing family, friends, and business often doesn't end well. Your reaction confirms this. Wish them well and agree that your relationship is more important. Not the asshole, but I would do the same as your boyfriend. I wouldn't want any issues buying a house that impact my relationships. It's okay to be upset, but you're an asshole if you're giving him a hard time about it. He makes very good points. I'd do the same. I don't know. I guess I don't really agree with that because like they said that is like how you start your business.
Yeah,
is like family and friends. Yeah. So
I don't know if my significant other told me that he wasn't going to use me to, to buy a house. And
Yeah.
he would never. I know. Like,
No, of course. That's like a
and I mean,
no-brainer.
his own mother is a broker. And I know, like, he would never,
Use her.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would never use somebody else.
Yeah, no, everybody's like agreeing that they wouldn't use their girlfriend either, and I'm just like,
And I'm sorry, I think that that says a lot about your relationship, like, as well. Like, both how you feel about your significant other and their capabilities in their profession and in your relationship.
that's what I mean.
That's
Like if you
buying a
don't,
house is a big deal.
right.
And like whatever, they're if they're not buying the house together, that's like
Well,
fine.
that's somebody commented and was like, he knows you're also shopping for yourself, even if it's subconsciously, as you may one day live with him. He wants a non-interested party. But I'm like,
I can kind of like
is she
understand
though?
that.
Because she sounds like she's a pretty professional person, or I don't know if it's a she, but they sound like they're pretty professional, like saying, like, I follow the code of ethics, like, you don't sell random strangers' houses, it's always people you know. Like,
But I think even still that subconsciously I think it's hard not to keep the personal interest like somewhat, and you're
I
as
guess there's not like enough context to know if she like
yeah,
thinks she's gonna move in.
but shopping for anything, like for you know what I mean, shopping with your significant other for anything, like you're gonna have like your opinion. You're gonna put in your opinion, whether it's shoes, new pants, a car, like a house,
Yeah.
and I can understand that. But then the other thing is too is like we don't know how long they've been together. Like,
There's not enough context.
is she go? Are they gonna be looking like to? You know what I mean? Is he gonna be like, hey, like I'm going to check out this house. Do you want to come with me? In which case, like you still have that going on. I mean, I would assume that conversations are going to be happening again. Otherwise, what is your relationship? Now, I get it; they're not purchasing together, so
Right.
what he buys is his choice, and she, bless you,
Sorry.
and she doesn't really have like a say in it. But in a normal, healthy relationship, you're communicating about things that are going on in your day to day life. So, aren't you going to be like, hey?
I looked at this house today.
Yeah, or like what I'm thinking about making an appointment to see this. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
That is still going to be happening regardless. I just think it's like, you know what it is that whole thing about, you could be selling water bottles for $1, but your friends will buy it from somebody selling them for $5 just because they don't want to give you the money.
You think
They
that's what it
they
is?
don't want to pay you. They would rather pay somebody else more money than pay you anything. And again, not that, as a buyer, you're not fucking paying anybody shit, but like,
well, I don't know. That's all the bullshit going on right now.
let's fucking go there.
Yeah, there was a story about that, and I was thinking about discussing it, but I didn't.
I don't even know.
All right, next story is off of AITAH. Am I the asshole for not letting my parents move in with me?
No.
Well, that's that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was my reaction too. So, I mean, love my parents to death, but if I had like an in-law, yeah, how about it? Okay, and the first line, you're gonna be like, oh yeah. I, 23, female, moved to a new city almost 2 years ago. I lived with my aunt, my mom's sister, for about 6 months, and then got my own apartment and moved out. My parents want to move down here sooner than I anticipated. My mom has already been having over the phone virtual job interviews at different places here. My parents have asked if my mom could stay with me for a week or two while she takes a tour of one of the facilities she interviewed at and also look at potential houses to buy. I flat out told them no. She wants to visit within the next month. I said I'm very busy next month. They're aware of my work schedule, Monday through Friday, and how I take call at work. I also mentioned that I also will be out of town for a wedding. And basically, my dad's reply was, so I realize that it's only for a week. However, after she finds a house and she likes, then what? I know how my parents are. I don't believe they're in contact with any realtor in this city. Who knows how long it will take them to find and buy a house that they like. Everything they do takes so much time, in quotes. Their plan was for my mom to find a job down here and move in with me or my aunt while my dad tries to sell our house. Once my dad sells our house, he expects me to fly back home and help him move across the country on a cross country road trip to move to my city. He refuses to live with my aunt, who has 3 empty bedrooms, and wants to stay with me. I am aware and realize that they are my parents and have sacrificed a lot for me. However, it's frustrating that they expect me to rearrange everything and cater to their plans that aren't well thought out. I also think it's unfair of them to try and dump all of this on me within a couple of months. I live in a small apartment and just don't think there's enough room for me, either one of them, and our 2 family dogs. I also enjoy living alone, having my own space, and not having anyone to report to. They keep saying if they were to live with me, that it would only be temporary until they find a house. I'm just scared the house hunting process will take well over a month and they'll end up overstaying their welcome, which is why I told them no, they cannot stay with me. As I predicted, they did not take this well, lol. But am I in the wrong for saying no? I never owned a house, so I'm not sure how long it takes to buy one on average. I just don't think it's realistic or practical to have either of them stay with me during that process. Any thoughts?
Not the asshole. For a minute, I was gonna say you are the asshole. Let your fucking mom stay with you for a week so she can like
Yeah.
check out like whatever. You know what I mean? She's gonna stay for a week, do her thing, and then go back. Also, though, if your mom's sister has a house with 3 empty bedrooms, I am kind of like, why are they gonna go stay in your little ass apartment? No.
Just because the dad refuses to stay with
And
the aunt.
you know, and I think it really depends a lot. All of it depends on your relationship with your parents, but the fact that that is how she feels, that tell again this like
That's telling.
It tells me enough like about their relationship, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But no, not the asshole.
Yeah.
I think it would be fine to let your mom stay for a week, or but
Yeah,
I mean,
to
again,
do the
why,
interviews and stuff.
but why won't she stay with their sister in the same city with more space? You know what I mean? That just seems like that's
Right, and why isn't the mom flying back to drive across country with the 2 dogs and the dad and all of
that,
their
like
stuff?
3 people in an apartment with 2 fucking dogs. What I would do is
And
say
is
like,
our dogs even allowed?
yeah, I would
use
say
that as an excuse.
I would that or the landlord, you know, because then what if they're like, oh well, you know, the dogs will go fucking somewhere else. Like I would say that the landlord said that because of the terms of the lease that she can't have anybody else staying there for any amount of time.
Yeah.
She can't have extended
guests. That's smart. Top comment is not the asshole. Whatever you decide as your plan is your domain, but it does seem strange that the idea of any length of stay is objectionable to you. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what is really bothersome to you here, as it feels as if there is more to this story. You don't mention any problems in your relationship, and in fact, say your parents have done a lot for you. I get valuing your private space, as most of us do, but many of us here would help out in short term, I believe. I do wonder, though, if your landlord would allow 2 or more people and animals to live there, though. And OP responds, overall, I don't have any problems in my relationship with my parents. We butt heads a lot because we are all pretty stubborn in our opinions and views on things. I guess I'm just someone who sticks to a routine, and if they were to move in, everything would be thrown off. I could probably get away with having dogs, but having both dogs and people would be pushing it, in my opinion. And then the next comment is check your lease. You probably can't have them move in with you, let alone 2 dogs. So yeah, basically same thing you said.
I feel like there is more to her relationship. Maybe she just hasn't like
I mean, I
dealt with
totally
that.
get liking your routine and having it disrupted because I have like if something like gets thrown at me last minute, I like stress.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my freaking god, like now I have to do this. And I honestly, that's like one of the things that I don't like about myself because I am like that.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm like that. And I'm like, it's life. Like things are going to get thrown at you. Like it's going to happen. But like in this situation, like my mom is literally like one of my best friends. So I'd be fine with her coming to stay with me. But I do think that the mom should be flying out and like moving them back. And I do think that like the three bedrooms that are open in her aunt's house, like, is there a
Yeah.
reason that
Yeah,
they
that's
can't?
strange. I
Like,
don't
is the
know.
aunt not in like good health or something? Or like, does she have a
Does this
boyfriend? Or like,
It's strange. Her reaction tells me there's like more to it.
and you definitely see that reaction. Like, she's like, no, I don't want them
Yeah,
here.
that's what I'm like.
But I don't know.
I think you need to fucking unpack some things.
Okay, this one's off of AITAH. Am I the asshole for breaking it off with my fiance after what he did? Advice needed. So I, 27 male, and my fiance, 29 male, have been engaged for about 6 months, and I can say he was the love of my life. For context, him and I are both realtors that work at the same firm, and we often work with the same clients as a team because it's just much easier and a nice way to spend time together while working. So, on to the story. I have been working with clients that I'm good friends with outside of work that I've known for years, and they trusted me to help them find a home they wanted, and I did. It's a nice home, sort of out of the city where we live, and has a good amount of land for privacy. So I asked my fiance to help me with the staging of the home because he always has the better eye when it comes to that. And he happily agreed, like normal. And we get everything all set up and ready for a tour. But the night before, he tells me that he's going out drinking with some friends of his, which I didn't mind because it was a Friday night. I don't see or hear from him that night, so I just assume he's having a good time and don't think anything of it, and I go to bed. Waking up the next morning, I noticed he wasn't there or looked like he had been, so I called him and no answer, which is very odd of him to do. So I brushed it off, thinking, oh, he's probably busy and had an early morning. I don't know. Flash forward to the afternoon. I meet with the clients and nothing realtor stuff. We set off to go to the house and give it a tour and whatnot. When we pull up, I see his car in the driveway and three other cars, which I thought was odd because we had no one else that was touring the house. So I was a little worried that maybe there was something wrong with the house or something. So the clients and I walk up to the house and I notice the lockbox that's supposed to be on the door is gone. I opened the door, and right in the living room, I see empty bottles and trash, and four people passed out on the floor, including my fiance. I was in utter shock. I just turned around and shut the door and had my clients go back to the car, utterly shocked. Had my clients go back to their car and leave, and I told them to come back in a little while. They left, and I came storming back into the house and woke up my fiance and just started yelling at him about how he embarrassed me and destroyed this house and how idiotic he was to do this. And in the heat of the moment, I told him I could never marry someone as selfish and as stupid as he is, and to get out of this house before I called the police. I was so angry and upset, I got back in my car and sped off, called my clients, and told them I'd have to reschedule the meeting. And since then, I've been getting numerous calls and texts from him and a little bit from his family, which I've just ignored because I'm just so frustrated and angry. But I've sort of calmed down and I'm thinking if I overreacted and needed some opinions. So if you have any, please share.
I would have fought him. I would have on site.
I would have woken him up by kicking him in the ribs.
Mm-mm.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, that is not. I mean, only he can decide whether or not
Right.
he's wants to
Try
marry.
and
You know what I
mend
mean?
that.
I don't. If he wants to walk away from his relationship over that, like I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't
No.
think he's the asshole. I mean, that's his call. Nobody
Right.
can really, only you can decide your limits like within your relationship. But everything about that,
Screams wrong.
but yeah, like the going out, whatever, you went out, fine. No,
That makes
no calls, no nothing, and then you stayed in a house that did not belong to you, that was part of your significant other's job
And yours.
with
They worked
other
together.
people. Yeah, with other people. Everything about that, like no.
It's like it makes me think like how well do you actually know this person? Because they clearly have a side to them that
and then I'm like, part of me is like, what was going on? Were they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was going on with that all of them went to an empty house rather than going back to his house or one of the other people's houses. Like, right. What were
he was
we doing?
probably cheating.
Yeah. No.
Not okay. Yeah. So, one of the top comments is not the asshole. Who actually owns the house? Sounds like he doesn't and just used a house to party. What would your bosses think if they knew? I mean, that is a serious liability issue if one of the parties had gotten injured. I would tell your bosses and take a break from your fiance and think about what you really want for the future.
Whose listing was it?
So OP responds, the firm we work for owns the house. It's been vacant for a few months and we were tasked with selling it. I'll be emailing my boss today and letting him know what happened. And you're exactly right. He used it to party and got to be messed up. He passed out drunk with 3 other people I don't even know, which is a huge, huge liability problem.
Yeah, everything about it is a red flag. No.
Yeah, and then it says paragraphs. And then, like, someone commented, paragraphs. And OP responds, I apologize. I was a bit drunk typing that last night. Didn't even think of paragraphs. I'm like, not even the paragraphs, just the multiple times you repeated yourself.
Poor guy. Yeah, dump him.
No, definitely.
I think that this episode should be titled
Dump him. Yeah. I know. There was a common theme, I guess. Well, except for the middle one about the parents, but yeah, no, seriously, I could not even imagine. I literally, like you said, like I would be violent.
No.
After the clients left.
To walk in with your fucking clients too. I mean, luckily he said he was good friends with them, so that helps. But had he not been, oh my god.
And they're gonna have questions the next time.
Yeah. What happened? What was going on?
Right, like what was in the house? Because I still want to see it. Oh my god, I could not. I would die. Yeah, I would not stay with somebody like that. I think that he also agrees that he's not going to stay with him. There's not too many comments on that one. It's from 4 months ago.
I want an update.
I know, right? Okay, well, that's all I have for us. I'm glad I saved that last one for last. I was like, I can't read that one first. The last one for last. All right. Well, follow us on Facebook, Instagram,
TikTok, Spotify, YouTube.
Of course, YouTube. That's where we are.
Thanks for joining us for the Realty.
Bye.
Bye.